Yeah, we have a bunch of animal games in the coming tournament of games bracket. Mrs. Bahar can cuddle skippers for me. That's totally okay. We have Tethys with Helical Crystallis, 2 Prismal Dust, Crystalline Seeds, and Plinks. Okay, so Frost Lancers, Plinks, Helical Crystallis, Crystalline Seeds, Tethys. We should be okay from damage-wise. Double Bomb Daedalus, so we need to set up either top or bottom because of haste units, unless we get the heal 5 from the caverns. Really important. The heal 5 from the caverns, set up in mid and let everything leak, and you come out of that fight, or you go into Daedalus on full health. Yeah, like you just heal up. It's great. You're missing automatic rail spike. The game won't give you the event. That's the one with Hef the Blacksmith, for anyone who's not... If you get the Hef the Blacksmith event while you're leveling through the Covenants, take one of each and get them gilded early. We have Arcus with a Sweeper. Right, very important to note, we need something to save Tethys from 2 sweeps. Like a Prismal Dust, maybe. And Sap Seraph. Alright. Double Gorge or Heal Consume. We do have 3 Consume cards in our starting deck, so Prismal Dust, so that seems good. Double Gorge is often very good, though, I've heard. It's a really tough call. Double Gorge allows for, like, Kevin. I don't know if you go Kevin with Tethys, though. One of the issues here is we're looking at... Tethys needs to go behind a something, and if you're going to go bottom floor Gorger, that's going to be Steve, the Shadow Eater. Who's a great Gorger for Sap Seraph, because he's got a lot of health and he heals. Double healing against Shadewings is really strong. However, here's something to think about. We've got Plinks and nothing else. So I think from that point of view, we skip the Double Gorge. Then we don't have to worry about the top floor argument of where you put Tethys. We go Refracting Lenses. With the Conduit attitude, or we can chill some wind. Okay, let's have a look at this. Spikes. Spikes is bad. We do have Prismal Dust, though. Which does mean we might not want to set up on top floor, but I think it's too risky. I want it. It's too risky, and when we play now, we'll draw Prismal Dust on turn 1 and be able to do it. Well, maybe not. I want to get Tethys behind 2 things. So we'll go there. By 2 things, I mean these idiots. If we can get a Plink take out this guy, it'd be really good. If we can get a Plink take out this guy, it'd be really good. I'm so glad I didn't have to say that a second time. If we can get a Plink take out this guy, the game's not going to do it, right? Awesome. Permafrost? I'm sure there's something we could permafrost, maybe like Prismal Dust. Or, Dead Weights. So this is where we need to decide whether we even think about going into morsels or not. There's an Umbra banner at the Merchant of Steel, which, you know, units here either want morsels or they suck. it's or both. You know, look at all the units except for Morsel Maker. No, he sucks. All right, and then you've got Morsel Master who needs morsels, and then you've got all the Gorge units that need a morsel, and there is no one else. So it's almost forcing us to Stygian, which is fine. At least we get a banner, and fish are good. But upgrades are good. But upgrades on a unit that you don't take means you just don't go that way. It's a shame too, because the next Merchant of Steel's not till after Daedalus. So we're going to need something really good. I don't know if Celia is what we're after, but we need something. Like, we have to have something. Morsel Maker might have been able to... I don't think like that. So I think we're just going to go for 4 premiums. Do we even want to spend for plus 10 on those? Well, not 4 premiums, 4 basics. -1 on the Prismal Dust isn't bad. I kind of want to put it there though, but once we play out, it doesn't really matter. Right, that works well there. Put a -1 on the other one. If we're lucky, we might be able to freeze both of those. And play them turn after turn at the end. Before Daedalus. Talus, whoever. Daedalus it will be eventually. I feel like I want to find a shark or something. Or a siren. A growth siren could be good. I think the biggest problem here is Tethys hitting into this one and him getting off kind of free. But I think we need to do that anyway. Oh, it's at 35. That's good. Let's give her the 1 dust. We can get a Stuart in front, we'll be fine. And yes, I do want that. Actually, playing this is really good because it gets Stuart killed. So we can put a fresh one down for the boss. Which doesn't really matter, I guess, because boss hits for 8. Fresh Stuart's nice, though. I need this to hit that guy. I'll take the 5. We take the damage because... oh, doesn't matter. Turns out we don't take the damage. I was going to say we take the damage because we heal up so much from our refracting lenses that we can ignore that potential 5 going through. Turns out Frost is strong. Mine collapse so we can target backline. Okay. Top floor sap totem with Celia and Dude and Tethys. That's interesting. Man, sap totems are so fun. I always go greedy on them and end up trying to get too many sap totems and you can't get the spells out. So strong though. Just so strong. We need to get like +2 armor on them. It's good because it means you don't need big upgrades, you just need basics. No Merchant of Steel till after thingy though. It has to be top floor shark as well because of haste. So if we get smalled, it could be a problem. We could dupe shark. Don't need that. Let's go here first. Dupe Dante. Get out, Dante. Obviously it'd be a positive improvement in the play of Dante, but I wonder if it'd be too much or just right if Dante's candles consumed. That way you just have to deal with them like once per fight each. Would that make Dante because having them in this fight's terrible. With 2 sharks we can set up mid though. I don't want to. Not like that. Hey Bonfire, how you doing? Ready for a great day? That's a lot of pain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can't save him from that. So he's going to take 20 no matter what. I reckon we just let him take it. Brothers won yesterday, yep. That's perfect. Don't want to kill these. Want them to hit Shark, put some frost on Big Daddy Dade. Aka, you've arrived. Highness Panz is in the wrong place on screen. Thanks, Aka. Guys, don't hesitate to let me know if I'm in front of the mana. I do it from time to time because I'm an idiot. It's okay, it's hereditary. Everybody dies. Okay, I could get the other preserve next turn. So the best thing I can do here is that. That. Seems okay. How are you today, Akko? And how are you, Methos? Ooh, trample. Trample sweep. I like it forever consume though. Strong card. Our sweep is not that strong. Kind of is. Interesting when you put trample on Tethys is when you if you get sweep. And if you can get into the back line, it comes back around and hits the front heavy a second time, so you apply a second lot of frost. Very dirty, I like it. Forever consumed good. What is the plan? The plan may not involve Cold Celia if we get sweep on Tethys. So we're not really too fussed about her space in the train. And if we don't, we can always set up Shark Celia and then Shark Tethys in 2 lines. We've got some draw to make sure we get into the cards we want, I think. And we do want to get some upgrades if we can. Spell upgrades are good too, but Shark upgrades are probably best at the moment. There we go. Sweep Frost is in play. Okay, Incant Armor versus an Endless. So an Incant Armor one on second floor with Tethys is really nice. Right, now it does mean we're making these sharks very specific now, and one on the like an Endless one on the bottom with Celia would be good. However, if I take that, I can't re-roll for Endless anyway. So now what we've done is we've isolated our sharks to be specific. We do need to get rid of a lot of these spells. However, spells for one of them is good. Because of the +2. Let's just remove Stewarts then. We can play 2 Stewarts. It's unlikely we can play and get the other Stewarts killed because we fill up the train. Multi-Celia is just not good. Quick. Celia would need to be quick and plus attack to be worth having, and I don't think she's worth having. No, definitely not. Interesting. Come on, Stewies. This one needs to be gone, otherwise... Oh, no, Tethys sweeps, but still. Okay, let's save that for next turn. Play this one this turn. Yeah, that looks good. Yeah, he's gonna be frosted up. Get some shark action happening. Let's just go with that. Does he even get a hit in? Gets one hit on shark. Nice. Okay. Freezer card's good. Is this the Glacial Seal? It's never the Glacial Seal one. No one likes Glacial Seal. It just gets in the way. Maybe Crystalline Seeds though. I'll grab another one of those. This is somewhat interesting against Shadewings. Can be really good against Sap Seraph. Like, hits a couple Shadewings, especially if we don't get Endless. Kind of bummed that we're really looking for that Endless. Oh, never mind. Pro player finds Endless. Let's put that there. Let's also give you that. We can play out the Stuarts. Get rid of the Frozen Lancers. Yeah, it's not too hard to play out two Stuarts. We want to re-roll for basics. What do we want on... I don't have anything I can test with. Celia could do with a something. Even Quick doesn't really do it because she gets sapped once and it's over. If anything, another plus 10. Plus 10 would be really good for her then, because then it's quite a few saps before she's down. And Stuart's on the top floor is also good to have a couple because it can take saps. Do we have another Merchant of Steel? We have one here, but I don't think I want to go there. I want to go there and take something. We might hit that one up, but it's probably hitting there. I don't want to give a large. Give a damage shield. Could be okay. In case something breaks through the shark and doesn't take her out. We don't necessarily need her, but it's nice that she's there. Because she's got plus 10, this is fine, as long as we get Celia first. I mean, that's always something to think about. Need to get Celia first. Although she does have her things. Her damage shields. Which is just not good enough. Let's protect her then. we get the right shark, please? Apparently not. Not the gold? I don't want to hit that. Hey, nice of you to show up. Pretty good trade, actually. You get -1s on this. It's really strong. Even with one of them, it's just 30 damage. With two, it's 60 damage. It's huge. Ah, you're stealthy. We have Endless Shark too. This is great. You get to go up here. Yeah, I like it. Do I let him go? Because we're going to play a Prism Dust? Are we going to play a Prism Dust? We are going to play a Prism Dust. And because we have more of them, I guess. Yeah, we heal up so much. I could have chased him, I think. I don't think it would have got the same result. Or she would have died on top floor. I guess it doesn't matter. Hey, Cam. Are you going to be a pallbearer for your grandfather? It's, yeah. I was pallbearer for my grandfather. Sorry for your loss, dude. Just having a thought of, just trying to think of... Yeah. Whenever someone mentions something like that, I always try to think of good times. See my pop smiling while playing. We used to play like different games in the backyard. We had a dartboard up in the backyard. He really liked lawn bowls. And then someone gave him a bocce set, so we'd play that. We'd restore furniture and stuff. He was a cool guy. Alright, man. Take care of yourself. You hope some of his army buddies show up and tell stories? That'd be cool. Old guys tell the best stories. I had an onion on my belt because it was the style at the time. Ember cash, more cards for more armor. Hello, Tiny. I am well. Weather is nice. It's cool. How is your breakfast? How are you? We don't need that because we got stuff, which means we don't need to go here. Which means we can go here if we want to dupe something. Which I kind of don't, but what else are we going to do? What can we dupe? I wish I had a -1 on this. I would dupe that in a heartbeat, even if it only had 1. We could go for a top floor sentry. Breakfast is basic. You're about to have bacon double cheeseburgers. I'm having a cheeseburger later on. Duping the Ember cache is okay. Oh, it's probably the front runner, right? But outside of it, you know, unless we can make something happen in here. Hey, Bone Dog, can you look after a card for me? Can I give you a Stuart? Do I want to give him a Plink? Can you look after a Plink? He was such a good boy. Wait, you meant bacon cheeseburgers times 2, as in 2 bacon... Wait, are you having 2 bacon cheeseburgers, or a bacon double cheeseburger, or 2 bacon double cheeseburgers? Kizron spent his time with a kid who kept creating new accounts to promote his YouTube channel. You just looked at the link and it's all downvotes, which are increasing. Is this on your automated League of Legends site, is it? Yeah, that's what happens. Makes you feel cozy. He was spamming the link in all League of Legends channel. So one of the things, we all know that that's not good, right? Like, just going to other channels and promoting yourself doesn't really work. But it's even worse. Probably League of Legends would be the worst community to do that in. Because apart from the few good eggs in there, League of Legends is highly regarded as the most toxic community in the known universe. Like, this is beyond Twitch. This is like just everything. You know, even the reptoids that pay NASA to tell everyone that the world's round and that Australia's real, they don't hang out with League of Legends people. Counter-Strike's like a blip in the ocean of compared to League of Legends community. Yeah, it's terrible. Now, in saying that, there are some really nice people that play League of Legends. There are some really nice streamers that play League of Legends. We just have to, unfortunately, count the, you know, you got to look at the picture as a whole. So if you're going to be someone that is going to create lots of accounts and spam your YouTube channel in communities, like League of Legends is probably the worst one to try and grow and do it in. Because as demonstrated, everyone's got, like, that happens in a regular community and everyone's like, dude, don't do that. You can't do that. It's not cool. You do it, as shown, you do it in League of Legends. Yeah, you get a whole bunch of people hit your channel up and downvote you out of spite. Like, they, you know, they actually waste their own time and energy to go and do something that is going to have a negative impact on someone else as retaliation. So it's some little corner of the world, someone sitting going, that makes them fairly responsible as a community, doesn't it? Kind of. They Darwin out their own. Don't know. Yeah, they have some, and that's the thing. Like, they definitely do have some of the best people, right? But I think every community has some of the best people. I don't think you can find a community that doesn't have some of the best people. Right? And League of Legends is not it doesn't escape that just because the toxicity is so high. They still have some of the best people. The sheer volume as well helps with that. You know, massive community, but still the amount of good people so fractionally small. You know, not even having a base 12 counting system will help you with how few, the lower percentage that is. Baby Tech, you've arrived. But I like that story, Kizrun. That makes me feel warm and cozy too. Yeah. Oh well. Maybe he'll learn from that. Hope that hit him. Let's get you played out. You need to be dying faster, just a tad bit. Well, it was about as toxic as football would be if football was global and had dedicated channels and chat rooms that anyone could join. Yeah. I think so. We're talking the casualty-causing riot version of football matches, right? I think that'd be a fair comparison. Fine. That'll be okay. I have confused them with the Pokemon Go fanbase. LOL is nothing but consummate gentlemen and women who have nothing but love and respect. You couldn't do it. Nice. Well played. I can spend 4 energy not doing stuff, or I could just do do that. I think it's probably better. Oh, wait. I'm supposed to put that on Tethys. I may have been distracted. I blame chat. God damn it, chat. Okay, can we still do this? It's a solid maybe. So the important thing is beating Arcus, which means probably blocking for Celia. Letting those guys through. Hey, Severo, how you doing? Alright, cool. Whew. Saved. You're good having to deal with a noise nuisance from your neighbor at the moment. I'm assuming they're creating too much noise and you've politely asked them if they could please turn the volume down on their stereo just a tad. And they said no, and you said please, and they said no, and you called the authorities? Do I want energy? I kind of feel like I want energy. I've got expensive cards, and we're not really going to get them cheaper by much. And I want trinkets. I mean, that one's okay. Is it, though? Not really. Ugh. Ugh. It's not music. For all intents and purposes, the flat seems abandoned. It's electrical buzzing. Oh, that's a problem. You would have liked a Pyre Stone? But that would assume that we go to this Merchant of Steel, which we're not. We're going to this Merchant of Magic. So it wouldn't do anything. Well, I mean, no one's ever really accused Twitch of being accurate in that sense, Kizron. You had a bike stolen because the lock was sawn through. That sucks, man. People are animals. You already knew this. Wow. Could have killed one of those guys. Ah, it doesn't matter, I can bring him back. We had, my wife's bike was stolen from our backyard in the place we used to live in. Our backyard, it was a back little patio, it wasn't really a yard. And it was on the verge side of it was a gated community. But people were always leaving the gate open. Or other people were just walking through as cars were going out. And our bikes were not on show. Like the area of the courtyard had like a 3-sided fence, so it sort of jutted out and then across a long way. And each of those 3 sections had wrought iron gating between the brickwork, had like brick pillars. And there was a big bush in one of the corners to sort of get a little bit of privacy. And we'd put some other stuff up for a little bit more privacy. And it was a deep verge. It wasn't like the footpath was right out the outside of it. And the footpath was on the other side of the road. So someone had to be walking on a non-footpath side of the road, which they would sometimes do. But rarely, because there was a nice park on the other side of the road. So that's where you would have come walking down. Right? And our bikes that were chained up, yeah, they bolt cutted the links. But they would have had to have seen the bikes while walking, which it was unlikely someone would have just seen them while walking. I'm not saying it's impossible, just extremely unlikely they would have just passed and been like, oh look, there's some bikes there. It would have been it feels more like they were checking probably any and every that they were walking past to have a look at what's on the other side of fences and stuff. And to have bolt cutters, because you could see the bolt, the marks, because it wasn't a big chain. It was just like something kids would use on their bike at school type of thing. But we figured having 4 bikes chained up together to a pole as well. But yeah, so they managed to come in through the gated community, go around the side of the block of things that we were on. We were on the end one, so we had a gate that went from like right around the side into that area, and took it. People have no shame. I wonder how hard it would be to make a hollow bar on a bike lock filled with ammonia. I'd be wondering the legalities of it, though. You can get in a lot of trouble for killing a criminal who dies in the act of stealing your property while you're not home. It's some sort of craziness. I don't fully understand it. Yeah, it's funny, it's the legality of that. Wouldn't be fatal. I don't know the truth to it, but the urban legend when I was growing up was that there was, documented cases of, the one that stands out is the dude that was carrying a television out of, like, had broken into someone's house and stole their television, and as he was carrying it out to his vehicle, either in the driveway or on the road or whatever, he stepped on a skateboard in their front yard, which sent his foot forward, and he fell backwards, like hitting his head on the concrete, and had the TV came crashing down on top of him. That won the court case because he was he suffered permanent injuries and could no longer work his job anymore. and their insurance paid out. Like his, you know, it was basically a payment to cover his life expenses for the appropriate amount of time he could have been working for or something. That's now it probably got there might have been something there, but that was as stories like that tend to do get blown out of proportion and no longer resemble what actually happened. But it had to have started somewhere, right? Like something like that probably, came close to happening. Or did happen. Ooh. You were living in communal living arrangement and someone was stealing the food and you said you'd put rat poison in your food until they check the cameras, and everyone lost their minds. Why did everyone lose their minds? Everyone should have been like, well, it's not me stealing the food, I'll be fine. Although putting rat poison in your food and putting it in a fridge, there could be some cross-contamination. If you put it in a really airtight container though, it should be fine though, right? The time he could have been working? No, so usually when work payments get paid out like that Kizron, they have to base it out of your potential income, and your potential income is based on the earnings you get from your job. And apparently they provided the amount of earnings he was making from his job, which was as a thief, to calculate the future potential earnings he could have made as a thief. Boo. That's not... Yeah, so putting laxative in your own food is not poisoning someone. If you need laxative and you put it in your meals so that you can have your own laxative, you're not poisoning anyone if they take your food. Now, if you put cyanide in your food because you need your diet of cyanide, that could possibly be seen as poisoning someone. But if you legitimately put medication because you have, some sort of incapability of processing fiber or whatnot, I don't know. Did you end up having to laxative the food? Please tell me you did. I need plus 10 on that. They said they'd call the police as it was poisoning someone. I wonder if they would have gotten away with that. Yeah, like super hot chilies would be one. That's a good one. I think for something like that, it sucks because as soon as you want to look at the best course of action, and the best course of action is to have a resolution. But as soon as you inquire and say, hey, this is happening, can you check cameras? And they go, no, we're not going to check cameras because we're lazy. And you go, fine. And so you start making food with a high ratio of laxatives in it, and someone gets sick and says, look, I think someone poisoned some food in the fridge because I stole it and I got really sick. They'll come to you straight away, even if you didn't mention it, right? I'll take a silence. I don't think you need to have a get out clause if you load it with super hot chilies, though. You just like, I like hot food. I like hot food. Am I taking another one of these? Yeah, sure, why not? It's kind of weird though, right? Because it just blows my mind. You get to a stage where, you know, grown adult steals other people's food from fridge. Like intentionally. It's like, at what stage does that person realize their life amounted to them being a piece of trash? Like, I get it when you're with kids, you know, some 10-year-old kid sees a piece of chocolate cake in a fridge that's a share fridge and goes, that's chocolate cake, man. You know, they probably know they're doing the wrong thing. They haven't quite grown into having, and it's not that they're lacking a moral compass, they're just like, but it's chocolate cake. You know, cool, it's not the right thing, maybe their parents will teach them better in the future. But you get to some sort of grown-up level of your life where you're like, I don't care. I'm taking that someone else's something. It's like, why? Like, how does that happen? You know, how do you... What was the plan? Let's get spells. Yeah, nutmeg's something you can add to a dish and make it unbearable. Like, people just wouldn't eat it. You know? You'd have like one bite of it, then they'd throw it away. Do I care about Anvil? Little bit. Kind of not really. It's kind of strange. Like, so we're not playing one card each turn and then hoping to play a lot more cards. But we do have a couple of X-Cost cards and we draw some of these other ones. So it's possibly just the best option. I'm really not a huge fan of trying to use that against Seraph, but it might be okay. Yeah, someone told me something like that a long time ago, Very Big Brain, where in civil suits it's more likely than not. And I've often wondered why that is. Like, why does someone get to accuse someone else and just have to kind of prove it? Kind of feels like that opens it up for people, you know, falsely accusing someone else in a civil case because they only have to kind of make it seem right. That's true too, you can't get blood from a stone. Still. Oh, I wanted to get -1s on that. I think one of them's fine. Doesn't it make sense the proof has to be stricter? No, why can't they be the same? It doesn't make sense. I would like to think that if the police showed up and arrested me for something I didn't do, the burden of proof should be very strict. The same as if someone's lawyer knocked on my door because they have accused me of something I didn't do, the burden should be just as strict. And for the exact same reason. Now, if you live in a country that would prefer, that has it the other way around, and the reason they do that for criminal cases is they would rather have 10 people get away with something they did than lock up one innocent person, or whatever the ratio is. It doesn't matter, right? If that's the stance you're taking in terms of a criminal thing, then you should be taking an equal stance in terms of accusation against a peer-to-peer accusation, that you would prefer to see 10 people that stole something off someone, 10 people in a civil case get away with it instead of having one person be undone fairly. I guess the argument is in a civil case, if someone's losing in that situation, someone's already lost. I guess if someone's had something stolen from them, they're already missing it, or stolen civilly instead of stolen criminally. I don't know. You can have no proof for the civil cases. Well, that's the thing. Like, if I didn't do anything, then there's going to be no proof that I did it. But if someone needs to just sort of make a reasonable case, it's like, hang on, that sucks, because I don't have proof that. And that's the thing, right? Is that if there's evidence that kind of suggests maybe you're the best candidate, that's not going to get you arrested. Maybe at a stretch, but then you win the court case because there was no evidence. But if in a civil case, they've just got to be like, you need to prove your innocence. It's like, but I don't do anything, so how do I prove my innocence? Think of like someone without a footprint that doesn't go out and can't prove they did anything. And there's a little bit of evidence that sort of suggests maybe they did, and that's enough in a civil case. It's like, now this poor person that just lives a private life can't prove otherwise because they didn't go spend time with people at the time, That's exactly right, Severo. Yeah. I wonder if Celia's going to die here. Does it matter? Probably not. Oh, we can protect her, I guess, a little bit. Or, instead of protecting anyone, we can just do that. And have less saps going around. Does that matter? Hello, I would like to buy a shark. Oh yeah, both of them. Thank you. Celia dies anyway. Good job, Celia. I don't know if we get through this one. I wonder if that means I put this up here now. Oh, I can't put this up here. Oh well. I guess okay. I don't believe I want to preserve the dead weight. I should have silenced that guy. Interesting. Huh. I mean, this is probably a pretty good one. That's not the double stack one, so we haven't drawn into all the other cards yet. Probably that one's better to play, though, I guess. Yeah. After we play Steward. I wonder if putting everyone on the bottom is the better play. So we let those guys leak and we're going to heal up anyway. It's kind of cool. Take more damage, Shark. I need you fresh each turn. At least he gets to be fresh on Seraph's first turn, which is good. And hopefully we can get a huge thing in. Sucks. Do we go again? Do we waste it? I think we do. Would have been nice to get on the double stack one, but we had a good turn out of that. I think it might have been all we needed. Especially the double stack one is there. Oh, that is huge. Let's go. 31 damage shield might be enough. We can let those go, I think. That's fine. Let's just do it like that. That way, should get, if we need it, we've got an extra few turns against Seraph up top. Pretty sure we're just good, right? Oh. Wait for Ice Empire. Yeah. Yeah, Split Anvil actually did come in handy. Who would have thought? Seraph has 20 health. Here we have full health. Good for us.